said, if you guys have a CRM program that you've used before, or if you have something that provides you landing pages, there might not be pieces of this that you need, but I've always used a lot of these tools in conjunction with things that I was paying for. But we wanted to have a session of just free stuff. So whether you're just starting out or you need to supplement and you don't want to be paying more money, but we're going to talk about like what examples you could have in place that are going to cost. So I'm going to go ahead and start sharing my screen with you, and we're going to cover some of our free lead gen tools. So desktop, share. Okay, awesome. I move all of your faces over. Okay. So what we've covered, this month, we're actually covering a lot of different free stuff that's in Google. So what we've covered so far are those CMA sheets that are in Google. If you missed that class, you can find them in app files, or if you just ask me, I can send it to you. So it's pre-formatted sheets in Google that help us calculate CMAs, calculate appreciation, things like that. And we're going to cover a lot of different tools today. And then on Thursday, we're going to cover how to template your business with Google and how to use all of their templates. So with that, we're just focusing on lead gen today. So the first point with this is you need to develop a niche or an area of focus. And it doesn't have to be just for your whole business, but when you sit down to create an ad, or you go after leads, or you want to go after people, you need to consider, okay, what type of a person am I going after? What is my ideal customer? Who do I want to work with? Maybe it's a niche as far as a neighborhood or a specific area. Maybe you want to go after Forest Lakes. Do you live in Forest Lakes, or do you really just like the homes in there? Do you know a lot about it? You could just go after marketing to Forest Lakes. Or maybe you like a specific type of group, such as I just want to work with buyers, so I'm going to go primarily after buyers and trying to get buyer leads. Or right now, what's the best is going after just sellers and getting listings, because if you have a listing and it's priced accordingly, you can really get it sold. Right now, if you have buyers, you've got 10 to 1 as far as, trying to go after a home, because we are in a housing shortage. But figure out what you want to go after. You can have different pockets. I know a lot of people like to focus on specific neighborhoods, but then they also like to focus on maybe like investors, or they like to focus on golf course communities, waterfront homes, millennials, those different things. So just get your brain running as far as what you want to go after. And start to create those buckets. I like to think of things as buckets. Some people think of them as groups. However you like to think of it, just start to separate out your different sections of one particular group or bucket you want to go after, or your multiple different buckets you want to go after. A lot of different courses that I've taken, even at Florida Realtors that we recently just attended virtually, they were saying, you shouldn't have more than 5 specialties. If you are going to do multiple specialties, usually right when you start off, go after 1 or 2, but you shouldn't have more than 5 specialties. So that would be 5 communities, or maybe a community, investors, millennials, boomers, the different pockets, and then separate your stuff out. So places to freely cultivate and start to go after these different buckets or categories. Obviously, social media, and this isn't going to be a social media class, but if you're going after things, you're trying to go after leads and get free generation of relationships with people, and trying to meet new people to help them into new homes or help them sell their homes, social media is going to be the first stop. You've got Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, Pinterest, the list just goes on and on. So we've had plenty of social media classes where we talk about, pick what your favorite is to start off with. Don't try to tackle them all at once. And start there, go from there, and then slowly over time incorporate other social medias. But this is places where you're going to be able to interact with people for free. And eventually, once you've conquered really getting a presence on social media, you can also put in money. I mean, we are covering free stuff today, but you, for very cheap, you can run ads on all of these platforms. Even Pinterest now is doing ads, and lots of other ones. I heard LinkedIn was starting. So whatever your favorite social media is, get on there, interact with people. Start promoting yourself, start promoting real estate and anything that's going to fit into your topic or your bucket of interest. You can also do emailing. So MailChimp is free for up to 2,000 contacts. You can set different consumers up on MLS feeds, which send them out regular emails. They do the dripping for you. You can also simply do these things in Gmail if you wanted to. We, on Thursday, when we talk about templating your business, we are going to cover how to make templated different emails that you can save in Gmail. If you have a CRM already, obviously you should have all of these emails already set. They set it up for you so that it sends out regularly for you. You don't have to worry about those things. But if you're looking to start from scratch, or you need somewhere to mass mail, MailChimp's going to be your best friend. These are the free options. Your other options are going to be paying for a system that does this for you. Your other place to freely cultivate your leads are going to be open houses. Open houses are available now again in person. You can do virtual open houses for free too. A lot of people have switched their business plan since COVID to just doing virtual open houses because they're getting a lot more attention by running all kinds of advertisements and putting all kinds of promotions out on social media and getting people to tune in virtually. And it's making the sellers a lot happier because it's less time out of their day that they have to leave if it's not a vacant home. But then you also have like really good, information that you can give them. This is how many people viewed it. This is how many likes we had. This is how many people said they were going to attend the event. You have all kinds of data to give the seller rather than just, well, 2 families stopped by. So that's why a lot of people have switched to those virtual open houses. But you can also do both and do it all in the same sitting. So another way to freely cultivate would be doing print flyers, so you can print at home. So obviously you have to pay for ink. If you're mailing out, you have to pay for postage. So it's not completely free, but it is cheap and it's a good way to start cultivating leads and getting out there. Now, to a lot of us, this stuff may be obvious, but sometimes we get so stuck in our ways by just working on one way to cultivate leads, we kind of forget what else is out there. And it's really good to incumbent like all of these things together. So, and giving that same message or that same brand across all of these. So if you're going after investors, you should have a message, you should have a look, you should have a brand, and you should put that across social media. You should send it in your emails and have that same look in your open houses, investor type open houses, homes that are fixer uppers that are going to attract that type of consumer. And then have that same look across your flyers, your postcards, and your mailers and things like that. But these are just tactics to plug in the tools that we're going to talk about today, because I don't want to just jump into the tools and think, well, what the heck am I going to use this for? These are the things that you're going to focus on that are free. Again, you can put money into them, but this is how you're going to cultivate stuff that you can use these tools for. So we're going to use Facebook as an example for most of today. If you like any of the other social medias, you like to do open houses, whatever you like to do, it's going to work the same. But for my example today, we're going to use Facebook. So you put some different posts out there. Maybe you do spend some money, you ran an ad, you got their attention, you're feeling wonderful, you've got thousands of views, but now what? What is that going to do except for fill your pride? We love getting all of those numbers. We love giving those numbers to our sellers especially, but where does that take you? It doesn't take you anywhere. Without any call to action, really any money that you've spent, any efforts that you've put in, they're kind of just a waste. Your likes, your impressions, and all of the views, they're just analytics, which if you're just trying to make a seller happy and you're trying to get attention to a listing, this could be fine. You don't need to do a call to action. You don't need to put in the extra work to take that step. But if you're looking to get something out of it, such as buyer leads, hard contact information, or anything like that, you really, really need a call to action, because at the end of the day, all you're going to be left with is a bunch of numbers to stare at. So the best bet here is having a call to action. So how does this work? It can work a lot of different ways. I'm going to cover today what I like to do best, and I'll explain to you why. I'm going to move your faces again really quick. So this example that we're using today, like I said, it's a Facebook ad. This is one that we ran back at the beginning of quarantine. And this is how we found out right now running ads since COVID has actually been, we get a lot more attention than we typically do because a lot of people are on social media, they're on their phones, people are still social distancing, we're starting to get back to normal, but we're still seeing the numbers are up. So here's our example of a home that was listed. It was a past agent of ours, so it was listed under JJ's. It was listed under JJ's name. They were in our referral company. So it was about social distancing, wanting more space. This was a good size home with a pool out in Northwest, distant from people. So you can see here that it has a certain look. Now the call to action, you can see here that this is just like the summary of the post, but at the end it says to learn, if you want to learn more, click the button below. And the button even says learn more. That is the call to action. So instead of just putting a simple post out there and people liked it or people viewed it or anything like that, that wasn't going to get us anywhere. We want to talk to these people. We want to figure out what these people want. We wanted leads. That was the important part. So by clicking learn more, this would take them to a landing page, which I'm going to show you guys in a second. So that we could fill out their information and get leads. We weren't just getting likes and then trying to stalk these people on their Facebook pages and trying to learn more about them or find their contact information. If people were commenting, we weren't trying to like reply back and build this relationship out in the public in front of people and seem like desperate car salesmen. It can get hard on social media trying to build those relationships. If we have a call to action and we are forthcoming with what we want and what we are willing to provide to the consumer, we can actually build relationships a lot faster. So here we said, if you want more, click here. That's simple. Now, if people do like, or if people do comment, you still want to make sure you're out there on social media interacting with people because sometimes they just want to communicate that way. And that's still a great way to build relationships. But for the people that are serious, we want them to take us serious and know that we're serious about providing them what they need. So from here, clicking learn more would take them to a landing page to fill out their information. Now, the example that I am using here is a capture form with Google Forms. So we're going to talk about how to use all the Google tools. Now, I will point out that now when you are creating ads with Facebook, they will make landing pages for you, or they'll call them lead capture forms. And they are nice, they do work, but the reason that I do it this way through Google is because if I am putting out a post, and let's say I didn't even spend money, maybe I just posted that video of the home and I said, if you want more information, click here. Didn't even put $1 in it. I would use this Google form. You can only use the Facebook forms if you've put money into it, but also I'm going to put this on Instagram. I'm going to put it on where I posted the YouTube video. I'm going to put it in my emails to anybody who's in my database, all of my random leads that I have. I'm going to put it everywhere, maybe even on the flyers, things like that. The link that Google gives you for this Google form, I'm going to put that everywhere so that all of my leads for this particular home are in one place. I don't want to have to go out to Facebook and pull my leads out of there because I'm good at using Facebook, but you got to click here to click here to click here to click. You're clicking through to get to that page where the leads are. This, I open up my drive, there they are. So whether they came from Facebook or they came from Instagram or they came from different places, all the leads for this one home are in one place, easy to find. I'm going to go ahead and mute you guys really quick. So on here also, you can do a lot more branding. So you can see here, I've made it consistent. The top of this ad is the same picture from the video in our Facebook ad here. So there's consistency across it. I'm creating brand just for this home and a consistent message just for this home. But let's say you are trying to farm a particular neighborhood. We were using Forest Lakes as an example earlier. So you could run an ad much like this one that talks about Forest Lakes, talks about the homes that are for sale in Forest Lakes, maybe has like a nice slideshow video of different homes listed in there, or just stock images that you've gone out and take of the community sign, the pool, things like that. And then here you would further brand, like you and Forest Lake. So you want pictures that you've cultivated, your logo, your photo, things like that. You can get creative. You can use Canva, which is a separate class that we have also, and you can create a dimension just for that running banner. But on this page, which is cropped out here, there's a whole background to it. So you choose colors, you choose everything. You can make it look real fancy. And then you can fill it out to ask whatever questions you want. So on here, I always put the title and a little description so that the consumer knows what they get. If you're very forthcoming, again, with what you're going to give your consumer, they're more likely to fill out their information. So you can see it says here, fill out the information below for information on homes for sale in the areas. If you're just marketing that specific home, you know, you can say, please fill out information below for homes on this Northwest Cape home. Things like that. So for this ad, we were looking for people who wanted to upgrade. While we were using one of our listings, we were more so looking for a general pool of buyers in Northwest Cape, not just buyers for this home. So it's all about what you're trying to get, which is why you want to focus what we talked about back in the beginning. What buckets are you looking at? What type of consumer are you trying to pull? Is it for one particular listing? Is it for a community? Are they sellers? Are they buyers? Because that's going to come down to what branding you create, what questions you're asking, and what you're promising to give the consumer. So these forms are free and you can create as many as you want. So what's the alternative? You might already have a website that allows you several landing pages, or you might not. These typically cost more money. Landing pages can cost, you know, maybe like 20 bucks all the way to a couple $100. It depends on who you're using, how fancy you want to get. I like it because it creates it into a spreadsheet for me. I can easily access the information. It's all right there in my drive and it's free. Okay. You don't have to go about creating anything. It's already templated. You plug in the photo up top, you plug in the questions that you want to ask, and you can create these forms for hundreds of different things. I mean, you could just get so creative. You can get a little out of control. I mean, I do. I just start having ideas and putting different things out there, putting different forms together, different pages. But you can have one of these for every single ad that you run on Facebook for free. And then you can take that and you can duplicate it across all of your other marketing and branding efforts without having to just go back into Facebook. So those are a couple of the different alternatives that you have with capturing that with the Google Forms. Does anybody have any questions about like the concept of what capturing the lead does for you or how it works? No, you guys get it. Okay, awesome. Okay, so far we've run our ads. We've talked about ways to gain these leads and having a call to action and capturing them. So from there, it's about organization. Now, most of you guys on the call have a CRM, which is great. That is the best thing for your business. A lot of new agents right off the bat, I say, get a CRM. If you don't have the money to have one, or you're just starting out, maybe you don't need a CRM yet, this is another free tool for your lead gen. This is an example of a separate company. I didn't put my leads out here, but your Google Sheets also come with great templates for organizing your leads. I'm going to pull up one of these sheets just to give you an idea. But Google Sheets has all kinds of CRM templates with different tabs that will help project what your income is looking like, help you project how many hot leads you have, how many contacts you have, and it's got all kinds of great different tabs for you. Without organization, without a system, your leads are going to go nowhere. Let me see if I can gain you guys back here. So, you're going to put forth all of these efforts. We've got over the hurdle of not just having numbers, not just having likes, not just having impressions. We've got actual contact information. Great, but what are you going to do with it, right? People, if you don't call them, they're not going to remember you. If you don't build a relationship with them, they're not going to call you back. So it's important to organize your leads and have a system so that you can continue to follow up with these people and build the relationship into a much stronger relationship rather than them just having reached out to you. And from there, cultivating them into a closing. And then from there, building that relationship for the next time that they're looking to do real estate or they have somebody they know looking to do real estate. So Google Sheet templates is a great piece to help you out. And I'm gonna go ahead and stop sharing my screen for a quick second. And I'm gonna hop into Google and kind of give you guys a run through of how to access these free tools. Now, when we talk on Thursday, it's going to be about templating your business, which is going to be kind of like a follow up to this class. So if you've got everything organized, you've got people in place, what do you do to reach out to them? What conversations do you need to have with them? Well, you shouldn't be recreating the wheel every single time you want to do your initiation emails, is what I like to call it, you know, where you talk about who you are, what you're going to do for them, and why they should continue to talk to you or use you as a realtor. And then it's the follow-up email after that of how's things going, where are we at? You know, if you have to retype those things all the time, you're going to spend a lot of time at your computer just trying to come up with conversation pieces, come up with ideas. So templating these things to keep in touch with people will help you save a lot of time so that you can go out and cultivate more new customers. So I'm going to go ahead and we're going to go back to sharing the screen. Okay, so I'm not sure how many of you have used Google Drive before. If you haven't, you can just go to drive.google.com. If you have a Gmail account, you just use those same credentials, the login and the password. You're going to use that to log into your Drive. If you don't have a Gmail account, get one. It's free. You can access all of these tools, again, for free. That 4-letter word is our favorite word today. And there's lots of things that you can create out here. Again, we're going to go over a lot of different templates on Thursday, but for the tools that we've gone over today, over here, you're going to click that new button. And if you go to more, right here is Google Forms. So you can just start from scratch, but if you've never used it before, I suggest you use this little further arrow and come over here to from a template. This is where you're going to find all of the lead capture forms for different things that you might be trying to do. Now, the one you're going to use the most is a contact information form. This is just for gaining their contact information so that you have a lead. But if you're looking to set appointments, or if you want RSVPs, if you're doing different things in your emails where maybe you're going to put together a virtual open house, you can put together a RSVP form and make it very serious, tell people you've got limited space or different things like that. You can get really creative with all of the forms that they have out here. Like I said, lots of different ones, but we don't want to get way off track here. So we're just going to focus on the contact form, okay? So you come out here, you can click contact form. And once it loads for you, you've got everything right here. Now this is pre-templated, so you've got automatic green colors, there's no picture here, and they've put in some different information for you. But by just the click of a button, you can switch each block. You can move it around. You can ask different questions based on what you need. Now, remember not to ask for too much information. The consumer's attention span is only going to last so long, and they're only going to feel so invaded the more questions that you decide to ask. So a basic lead gen form, what the consumers are used to on realtor.com, Zillow, things like that, right? Their name, their email, their phone number. If you're asking for more information, maybe are you looking to buy or sell, or what areas are you looking at? Ask a real estate related question if you're going to ask a fourth question, but your basic stuff is going to be name, email, and phone number. So from here, you can also change out these lovely colors in these photos by using the customize theme button up here. Your responses are always sent to you the moment they're filled out, but you also can come here and check your entire log of all of your responses at any time. With this being a new form, there's nothing here, but it will lay out here just like a Excel spreadsheet. So this is a basic run through of how to use these forms. When you're ready to use it, you can click send. And you can send via email. So if you wanted to send it directly to somebody, you could, but you don't need to use that because you probably don't have their email yet. What I use the most is right here, clicking this link. So this is the link that you can use. You'll plug it right into your Facebook ad, or if you're writing an email and you're embedding a link that says click here, you can use this link. Now, this is free, so you can attempt to shorten the URL, but you're only going to get so many options. If you wanted to pay for a CRM, you wanted to pay for all these features, that's where you can get creative and make a website that's called forestlakehomes.com or something, if that's like the community you're going after, or you could call it investorsrus.com. You could get creative, but you do have some options to shorten that link if you're going to be typing it out where it's visible. If you're using a Facebook ad or you're using a contact or learn more button in your email, they're not going to see this part. So it doesn't matter. I just use what's free and figure out the best way to use it by embedding that link. Okay. So you can also put it right to Facebook or Twitter. I don't suggest doing that because then it doesn't look very professional. It's something that's just shared from Google. What you want to do is type out your post, your ad, your print, whatever you want, and then copy and paste this link out there. Okay, so whenever somebody clicks on this link, this is exactly what they're going to see. Whatever colors you have set up, your banner and your questions, and there is a little submit button down at the bottom for them. And like I said, you'll instantly get alerted and your responses will be logged here, all for free. Okay. So the other feature that we've used today that we talked about was the way to log and organize all of your leads with the CRM report. So it's going to be the same concept. You're going to come over here and click new, but it's a Google Sheet. So you're going to use the templates instead of creating one from scratch, trying to put all the algorithms in there and all those things. There are a lot of different templates out here. Again, Google has created all kinds of stuff. This used to only be available in the Google Suite, which is that added paid for version of Google. But this is, I don't have Google Suite. I use everything for free, and this is now available for you guys for free. So lots of different stuff that you can come out here and have fun with. But the one that we're focusing on is the customer relationship program. So this CRM report is all pre-formatted. And it has an instruction sheet with it for those of us that aren't tech savvy or easily get confused, or heck, even if you are tech savvy, I still read through this just so that I could get the best out of what they were giving me for free. So all kinds of instructions right here on this first tab. And then you can run along the bottom and go to your different tabs. Let me move this guy up a little bit. So down along the bottom, you have your dashboard, which is going to show you what you have in sales, what your numbers are. And this is just pre-templated. So it's already showing numbers because I haven't plugged anything in yet. So that's based on what Google plugged into the template. You've got your people. So you'll want to come out here and delete their little examples. Companies. So this is based on a CRM that would work for any business because it's free. It's for everybody. So we would probably get rid of companies if we wanted. Just switch it over to where it's just people. You can double click and edit what the tabs are called, but come out here and format this for how you want to run your business. Maybe you want to organize people not by potential customer and current customer. Maybe you want to organize them by under contract, already closed, so they're like a past customer, looking at homes, never answered, cold lead, hot lead, however you want to organize them. You can come out here, you can change everything so that you can look at all of your people and you can sort them by what type of contact they are. Are they a hot lead? Are they a cold lead? Are they already closed? So you can come out here, organize this however you want. I'm not going to get you guys lost by going through all of these people. I just want to show you what tools are available to you for free. So Google gives you that opportunity to come out here and make different forms where people can land on. Basically, those are free landing pages for you guys, free websites for you guys, so that you can design it how you want to, brand it how you want to, and share that out. And then they also provide great sheets for you guys to organize and keep things in order so that you have a system. If you have a CRM, that's great. I do suggest keep using your CRM. But if you're only allowed like a certain amount of people for free and you start hitting that wall, that's when I started using Google. We had a system that was only for a certain amount of people. Once we started getting too much, there was just stuff everywhere. I work better with sheets and spreadsheets. It might be very old school, but it depends. That might be something that's great for you guys. and that'll help you through organizing your people until you want to put them maybe into the system. I know a lot of realtors with limited space in their CRMs, they put all of their people who are actually connecting with them that they need follow-up for, those are in their CRM, but their leads that like never answered or that are like cold or have already bought, they'll put those out into different spreadsheets and do mass mailing to them on a regular manually rather than having it in their CRM. So it's all based on where you're at in your business and what you're looking for. But those are your beginning steps, from cultivating the lead, getting the information, and plugging it in somewhere so that you don't lose that information. From there, we're going to go through follow-up and creating those relationships by templating your business on Thursday. Go ahead, Marlissa.
Question for you. I noticed while you were in there, Google Sheets was indicating a lot of copper. I used to use copper as my CRM.
Yes.
Do you use copper as well?
I don't, but I was watching some YouTube videos where they integrate.
Does it? So it does feed in there now? It didn't previously. So it does feed.
Yeah. The YouTube videos, like I said, I have not used copper, but the YouTube videos I was watching were talking about the integration that they had between the two, and that the consumers like to use both of them because they worked really well together. So I can try to find that YouTube video and send it over to you as well.
Yeah, that would be great. Either that or I'll search for it. Thank you.
Yeah, no problem. No problem. Do you guys have any other questions on how any of this works so far? It's very simple.
I have a quick question.
Yeah.
Are you doing workflows on Thursday? How does Google like connect in? So once that email comes in, I mean, does something automatically happen, or with Google, the way it's set up there, do you end up having to do something yourself right then?
Yeah, so there's a couple different ways that you can do it. If you're just using Google, it's very manual. So with templating your business, we're going to talk about what different things that you'll need. So you'll have like preset emails, like introduction email, follow-up email 1, follow-up email 2, follow-up email 3. You can have those templates saved in your Gmail or in your Google Drive, but you're going to have to physically send them out. But in MailChimp, you can have up to 2,000 contacts. There are drip campaigns that you can set up in MailChimp to send out to new customers. So let's say you get a customer, or I should say a lead, they're not yet a customer, and you plug them into like one of your lists or one of your buckets called hot leads. It will send them like the introductory email, follow-up 1, follow-up 2, follow-up 3, based on whatever schedule you set. And then it'll automatically add them, like they'll stay in that bucket. So if you go out and you do like your monthly newsletter, you know, they'll forever be in that bucket as well from there. But it doesn't do anything else automated other than that. So I had my system manual for a really long time as far as having those different emails saved and plugging it into my Gmail calendar and then having everything on spreadsheets. And so in the morning, I would just go out and look at who needed what follow-up email and kind of regularly do like lead gen work. For me was going through my sheets and looking through those CRM sheets and seeing who I had last followed up with, how long it had been since I touched my cold leads, maybe send them out like a call to action email, or my hot leads, go through and follow up and see when the last time I talked to them or showed them properties was, and just regularly kind of filtering through my people. And the reason I did that, and it might be a millennial thing or a me thing, I don't know. I had a CRM, I plugged them in there and I was like, haha, it's taking care of it. Like I'm going to walk away from it. No, it wasn't personal. It was very robot. And then I wasn't involved. And I'm also a control freak. So not being involved meant like I didn't have a relationship with those people. So I liked having the spreadsheet where I was constantly looking at the names. So if somebody called me, I was like, oh yes, like, okay, I just sent this email, and it was more like top of mind. It might seem like more work, but if you have it templated, where you can just plug it in and then you're still kind of, you've got your hand in the making of the communications. I felt like it was a more personal touch than just walking away from it, because I would plug people into that CRM, walk away from it. Months later, they would call me and I would feel like an idiot. for just not knowing them well enough. Even though like if your CRM is connected to your phone, so it tells you who you are, who they are when you pull it up, it still didn't feel personal enough for me. So that's why I functioned the business the way that I did. Yeah. Like I said, it's not for every personality. It depends on where you're at. So awesome. Okay. So if we don't have any other questions, I'm going to leave it at that. And then I will, oh, one last thing. This is why I have my notes right in front of me. So while we were talking a lot about social media, trying to generate leads for free, I'm going to open up the chat bar really quick because I'm going to send you guys something. We took a really, really good course at Florida Realtors that talked about relationship building, getting referral business, and kind of, they didn't advertise it as free, but all this stuff that you can do for free with your current customers, your past customers, things like that. And one of the great things they talked about was how important social media is. While this isn't a social media class, and that wasn't a social media class, it's social. That's where you're building your relationships. They gave us a really great 90-day social media challenge, and I am going to go ahead and upload it here for you guys if you want to use it. It is a spreadsheet, and it breaks it down by 30 days at a time. I'm hoping that that is it. 2028, yeah. Okay, so I just sent it to you guys. It's a 90-day social media challenge if you want to take a look at it. If you're feeling stagnant or static where you're at, it'll help just cultivate some ideas. You don't have to do the whole 90-day challenge, but if you just read through the bullet points of what they're suggesting you do, it might give you some new ideas or some new life as far as things to put on social media. So your first 30 days are about building up your profiles, making sure everything's filled out and everything's consistent. And it's just a good checklist. Making sure all of your bios match across all of your profiles, making sure you've got like a consistent cover page across all of your profiles. The following 30 days are about creating content, and the following 30 days after that are about being consistent. And it might just help you kind of get back into a groove if you're kind of like me. Every once in a while, I fall into this awful pattern of, oh yeah, I have to get passionate about social media again, and I'll post like a lot for a week straight, and then I'm like, oh god, I'm so sick of social media, and I don't. This helps create consistency for you, and this can help with the free part because a lot of it isn't about ads. One of the bullet points is creating an ad, but that's just one out of like the 90 days. So this will just help you keep consistent, help you with your algorithm so that you start popping up on people's pages more. And if you use the call to actions that we talked about today in with what they're suggesting you post about, then that'll help you create some free leads. And then maybe I can say I at least saved you $200 this month. All right, and if you can't download it or you're having issues with it, let me know. I'm gonna add this out onto app files, but I can also personally email it to you guys as well if you want that 90-day social media challenge. So awesome. I will see you guys on Thursday, and we will talk about how to template your business and take it from organization to follow-up from here. So you guys have an awesome Tuesday.
You too. Take care. Bye-bye.
Bye.